The time is finally here. You finally have your recorders. After 13 long months, let's get started. A brief introduction. Your recorder. The recorder belongs to the woodwind family, even though it doesn't have wood in it. Originally, they were carved out of wood or bamboo, so they would be considered part of woodwind. Now, if you bought your own, yours is like mine, and it has 3 parts. This part here, we call the head joint. This middle section, we call the body. And the bottom section that we call the foot. If you have one of the school recorders that is loaned out to you, yours still has those 3 parts. Yours just happens to be all molded together as one piece. But those are still the sections of your instrument. So, head joint, body, and foot. The head joint is what I want to focus on first. This is how you're going to control your sound. Now, hopefully, you spent at least 5 minutes, maybe more, doing cotton ball wars, because that breath control is so important now. To make sure, set that there, to make sure that you are getting the best sound possible out of your instrument, we want to talk about something called embouchure. It's a fancy word that basically means your mouth placement. You see how the mouthpiece is kind of curved, and if I kind of wrap my bottom lip over my bottom row of teeth, it kind of fits right there. Oh. Huh? I'm not putting much of it in my mouth. I'm barely putting like maybe that much of it. It's really not a whole lot. Also, I don't have my teeth directly against it. I'm kind of covering up both my rows of teeth with my lip. Because if you have your teeth directly on it, you may feel that vibration. I wouldn't recommend it. All right. So, if you have a 3-piece, go ahead and take the head joint off of it. If you have one of the school recorders, obviously that's not an option. So you are going to leave all of the holes open. You're just going to hold it right about there, below what we call the whistle. Okay. And we're simply going to practice making a sound on it. So, wrap the lip, put just a little bit of it in your mouth, and I want you to think the word do. 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 Try to feel the tip of your tongue kind of hit the roof of your mouth back behind your teeth. It's kind of an odd thing to focus on, but try it. Do. 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 You're going to do that same sound, but into your instrument. If it is screaming, way too much air pressure. If it's sounding really shaky, give it a little bit more air pressure. We want that nice even sound. Let's do 4 do's. Just getting used to our embouchure, our mouth placement, and a nice even sound. 4 do's And here we go. Let's move on to the next part. We've made the sound on the recorder, but the question is, how do we turn that whistle sound into actual pitches? On the body part of your instrument, there are holes. On the front of your instrument, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The last 2 holes, you can't really see it on mine because mine's see-through, but they are double holes. And then on the back, you have 1 hole. There. And if you see a letter B on top of it, all that means is it's Baroque. There's a certain pattern of fingers for Baroque recorders and a different pattern of fingers for German. That's all the B stands for. Now, your left hand has a job to do. You're going to put your left thumb on that hole in the back. And you're going to take your index finger and cover the top hole. Basically, you're a pinchy. And I want you to squeeze. And then take a look at your fingertips. See if it'll kind of focus. Do you see? Oh, yeah. That one really shows up on my thumb. See these little circles? They're called your Cheerios. And if you can see Cheerios on your fingertips, that tells you that you have successfully created a seal all the way around that hole and no air is leaking out, messing up your sound. You're going to pinch, thumb, and your first finger. Your other fingers, they don't have a job yet. Your right hand, down at the very, very bottom, you're going to hold the foot. You're not going to touch any holes. This is simply going to help support as you're holding it. Now, right hand on the foot, giving you extra support. Left hand is pinchy. The thumb hole, yep, that's its name because it's always for your thumb. And your first finger on the first hole. Welcome to the note B. Now, keeping your fingers right there. Tuck your lips over your teeth. And let's do 4 B's. Remember that do sound? That do. That same thing with our fingers in position. I'll do it 4 times, and then you do it with me. Nice and even. 1, 2, ready, go. Nice job. If you noticed that it was not sounding like mine, maybe yours was sounding a little squeaky, or like that, you want to make sure, check your Cheerios. Make sure those holes are totally covered up. And, little bonus, if you have one of the see-through ones, I don't know how well the camera's going to pick this up, but you can look through and see that your hand, that your fingertip has fully covered that hole. That reminds me, your Cheerios work best on the fleshy parts of your fingertips. Notice it's on the cushy part. I'm not on the very, very tip. I'm not up here close to my nail. I'm on kind of this fleshy pad because that's going to give you more coverage. Make sure that you are on that flat part, kind of behind your nail, No, no. Yes. Mm-mm. Flatten it out. There we go. Oh, you know your first note. B. Congratulations. Okay. Let's review what we've talked about so far. Talked about the different parts of our instrument. Mouthpiece, head joint, body, and foot. We've talked about our embouchure, our mouth placement. So, folding the lip over the tongue and barely putting, I'm talking maybe like half an inch. And we talked about Cheerios, squeezing tight so we don't have air leaking out. And you've learned your first note, B. We're going to learn 2 more notes, A and G. Will you put your fingers in position for B? That's our thumb and 1. Your right hand, it's down on the foot. Your second finger is going to go on the second hole. These 2 fingers, we don't need them yet. So now you have thumb plus 2. 1, 2. Check Cheerios. Looking good. Now, here's what an A sounds like. Here's a B, and then an A. The A is a little bit lower of a pitch, which makes sense because your fingers are going lower. And if you looked at where the notes B and A are on our treble clef staff, B is a little bit higher than the note A. Oh, will you put your fingers in position for an A? That's thumb plus 2. Same thing we did earlier. I'll play 4, then you play 4 after me. Your turn, go. Nicely done. We have B and A. Here's kind of your bonus. The note G. That's where we're going to stop for today. That's a lot of brand new information I've thrown at you. Parts of the recorder, embouchure, Cheerios, and the notes B and A. My biggest piece of advice I can give you: be patient with yourself. If it doesn't sound right the first time, keep trying. Be paying attention to what it sounds like and let your ears help you think of how to fix it. If it's squawking, check your air. If it's sounding shaky, give it a little bit more. And if your air is good, the next thing to check are your Cheerios. This is a learning process. It is something entirely new, so have patience with yourself. If you get it first time, awesome. Most people don't, though. It takes practice. So, for your seesaw response, you are going to submit a video. Yes, it has to be a video, not just an audio, because I need to see your fingers. Okay? I want you to do 3 things. The first thing is just practice putting air through the instrument. I want to hear that nice, even stream of air. Then the next thing I want you to show me is the note B. You're going to play it 4 times, just like we did together. And then 4 A's. So, steady air, 4 B's, and 4 A's. You've got this. And hopefully you still have your cotton ball and straws, because it wouldn't be a bad idea to play a little bit more of it this week. Practicing breath control is an ongoing thing. So, I hope you are excited to begin your recorder journey. It has been 13 long months of waiting, and I, for one, am thrilled to finally get to do this with you. Wish we were in person, but at least there's video. You got this. Be patient with yourself. Give yourself forgiveness. And I can't wait to hear your progress.